Hi, I'm Bonnie, Log Cabin Stitcher. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my sewing room. It's been a little while since I had a video up, posted up on my channel because I've been having some technical difficulties. I did a video 2 weeks ago for my quilting video. I got all the way through it and it was a longer one, an hour and 20 minutes, and it stopped 2 minutes before I was ready to stop. I tried editing it on iMovie and it is now held hostage in iMovie because I was trying to clear up space on my iPad that I do these on, and I deleted the original video because I thought I don't need it. I've got it in iMovie, and now iMovie is telling me I don't have enough space to get it uploaded on my iPad so I can upload it then on YouTube. So I have learned a lot from the comments that I have been receiving. So if any of you use iMovie and you can direct me to some links on how to figure this problem out. I spent 4 hours editing and trying to get it uploading and deleting stuff on my iPad, watching videos to see how to solve the problem. And I know this is a pretty common problem, especially with the longer videos. So I know I could redo that whole video, but oh my goodness, I really don't want to. So we shall see how that goes, but it's been kind of disheartening, so I thought I'm just going to get in here tonight. I worked a full work day today. Today is Monday, November 16th, and I worked a full day. It's like 10:30 at night, so we're just going to see how this goes and how I can get this done and uploaded hopefully by the morning. So I had some finishes. This is a single crochet, what do they call them, Afghan? I don't know, single crochet blanket that I made. I like to have simple single crochet projects that I can do because for me it's pretty mindless. I've done crocheting since I've been a little girl, and I like to just have something to keep my fingers busy and my mind where it's not so exhausted. I don't even know the name of the yarn. I've done a lot of these. It's a very soft yarn, and you can see it has this design, and honestly I threw the package away because I was almost done with it. I had done this quilt or this crochet blanket about 2 years ago, and as I was cleaning my room I realized it was almost done but not quite, so I just wrapped it up. My friend Carrie in Colorado, it's going to go stay with her because she loves blue, and I don't even know the name of the yarn, but I know you can get it at Joann's, probably at all the box stores. But just a fun project. I love the color and it's very soft. So that was one of my finishes. And then the other thing that I did, we have our little cabin up in the mountains, up in Lake Arrowhead, and I just got tires for my Subaru. I thought they came with all-terrain tires, and they don't. They come with nice soft tires that wear out quick and give you a nice ride. But I learned that tires that you want in the snow are not the same as city tires. So I bought some all-terrain tires and we took it up to our little cabin over the weekend, and I got to drive in the snow. We have a rough dirt road. It's unmaintained. It's pretty, I call it hillbillying it, but it's pretty rough where we are up there, and it was fun to drive in the snow. I got to push the little X mode button on my Subaru, and it was cool, but a little more slippy slidey than I had expected it to be with tires that cost that much. But while I was up there, it was really beautiful to be outside. It was nice and sunny, so we were outside and I did some reading. So I love the author Rosamunde Pilcher, and a friend of mine had given me a book by Rosamunde Pilcher just based on the title of it. It was called Flowers in the Rain, short stories, and it had beautiful flowers on the front of the book. And so she gave it to me years ago. My goodness, probably 20 something years ago. I fell in love with Rosamunde Pilcher's books. They're so lovely. They're in England. They're just neat characters, neat stories, some short stories, some longer stories. But I've just been reading these short stories on and off. I got all these books that I shared with my mom. My mom and I loved these books. And so I would get one, she would get one, and then we would just share them. So I have read this book several times before, but it was just fun to reread it. And then earlier this summer, see, aren't they beautiful? The End of Summer. I read that in the summertime, and that was just a full-length book. So Rosamunde Pilcher, awesome, awesome author. Beautiful stories, and I really like that. Then some other things that I've been doing, it's getting a little bit cold here, and I love to have, I call them my warmies. So these are just rice bags. They're just, and you can see I have flannel sheets, and this has got little flannel fuzzies on it. This is generally the size of rice bag that I like. Very simple to make, and I just partially fill it with rice, not fully. I microwave it, and I put it down by my feet. I can wrap my feet up in it, and oh, I love it because I hate wearing socks to bed. I want this nice and warm on my feet. Well, the other night it was freezing for me, and I couldn't get warm enough, and I thought, oh my gosh, I can't find my warmie. So what am I going to do? I made one. So I actually made 3 of these. I had flannel scraps left over. So these are just like 7-inch squares. Sewed them together, left an opening, actually I hand stitched that opening, put some rice in there, and I had 2. So one by my feet. It wasn't as nice because it didn't wrap around my feet, but it was great by my feet. And then I had one that I could cuddle, and it was nice because I like to sleep with those warmies. So here's something. This was a scrap that I had from like last year with flannel, and I thought, oh, this would be a nice little warmie. So this, and then I had lost it and then found it again. So this way I could show you guys how I make them. But this really is awfully small. But the nice thing is you could have it to put on the back of your neck too, or on your spine to warm you up. But this is also good. I have seat warmers right now, but you can have it and have it in the car with you to keep you warm. But you just sew around the edge of whatever size fabric you want. You don't have to use flannel. I just love flannel. And then you fill it with rice. Then you whip stitch that up, or even you could even just sew it on the sewing machine, and you've got a nice little warm rice bag. So that's the other thing that I have been doing. Then I have this whole stack of stuff, and I'm going to mow through it. So here's the story. I had a giveaway on the last FlossTube. So this is FlossTube number 7. So on my FlossTube number 6, I had passed 3,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so very much. And so I did some giveaways. So I just commented on the winners. So the first one was actually the Red House needle punch pattern, and that was Teresa Chuckle. So Teresa, send me your email. I have my email. I commented to you on that email to all my winners, but it's also in the description box that will be below this video. Then for the Advent chart, we have Sherry Eccles, and then project bags. I finally got my project bags done. The floral one is P. Badger Bird. So that was the winner of the floral project bag. And then we have the Plum project bag. So this is the back, and this is the front, and this is for Dolly Yarborough. So get me your addresses, and I will happily send those in the mail to you. I need those within 2 weeks. So today is the 15th. So by the 30th, make sure you get those addresses to me. Otherwise, I'll just pick another winner and then have it go to them. But I would love it to go to you. So I have been doing just miscellaneous things, some cross stitching, some sewing, some organizing. So this is what I want to share with you. I finally got some of these project bags done, and I love to color coordinate the project. So this is a project that I had before in a different bag, Me and You by Lottie Da. But see, these colors kind of went with this, and so I've got this all kitted up, ready to do. So here's something funny. So up at the cabin, we are totally redoing it because it had a series of unfortunate events, kind of like our life, and a lot of water damage. insurance didn't cover it, so we're just redoing it. So we're gutting it out, redoing it the way we want. It is a log cabin, so log on the outside, the round, and then the half, the flat side is on the inside. So my husband spent this summer redoing that bathroom, and it is really beautiful. The rest of the cabin downstairs, the kitchen and the front room are not finished yet. So I said, oh, this is going to be the most beautiful room in the house because that's where the real logs are, sanded, stained, varnished, everything. And so we're going to be calling it our sitting room, you know, the bathroom, our sitting room, because it will be so beautiful. And on the wall, right in front of the stool, I used to have a cross stitch pattern years ago. We bought our cabin over 30 years ago. So I used to have a cross stitch and it said, delight yourself in the Lord and he'll give you the desires of your heart. Well, it was an older pattern and I gave it away long ago. So I was thinking, it was funny. I was in the bathroom just looking at how beautiful it was. And I thought, oh, what if I do this cross stitch and put it, but it is kind of funny because it says, come sit down, just you and me. So that was, that's what I was thinking. It would be funny to put in front of our toilet. I don't think so, but it was just a funny thought that I had. So as I've been going through a lot of my fabrics, and I have a large amount of fabrics that I had inherited from my mom that I don't quite want to put in quilts. So they're perfect project bags. So I was just playing around. I have this complete mess in my closet from just pulling out fabrics to see what new project bags that I need to make because I just don't have enough project bags. So this is one. This fabric, it is just precious, like for a project bag. I don't want to put it in a quilt, but I was just matching up. So this would be the inside, this would be the outside of that project bag. Then this is another one. Edita Sitar had, so this is cross stitch fabric. So I had bought a fat quarter pack for my birthday. I buy myself my own gifts from Edita Sitar. And I thought, oh, this would be so fun. So this would be the inside, this would be the outside. And then this is another fabric from my mom and my sister. And it's just gardening fabric. So again, it's not something that I want to put in a quilt. It could be a backing, but oh, won't that be fun for a project bag? And then this will be the inside. So flowers and that. And then the last one, I had purchased this because I loved it. And then it just seemed like, I don't know, it would be a perfect project bag. So this is going to be another project bag. So that was fun. I just have fun. I call it piddling. I have fun piddling around, playing around, either in my garden or my sewing room. And that's what I was doing instead of doing some stitching projects. So here is my cheap mug that I got from Home Goods. And it has, oh, the best tea. Celestial Seasonings Sleepy Time Tea. So I'm getting tired doing that, so maybe I shouldn't be sipping so much and get so tired. So these are my cross stitch projects. So this is a finish. So last week there you know, the whole election thing going on, and the fallout from that was giving me a lot of anxiety. And so I had this project and I knocked it out within a couple days. And it's called Give Thanks by Threadworks Primitives. And I wanted something fun, something fall to do. And oh, isn't this fabric delicious? You can see there's some purple tones in it. And then there's purple within. I used... I don't know if I used all the called for or not. It's so late. I can't even think right now. No, I didn't. I did a little bit of changing around. The best one was Old Purple Paint. That's what this is. But this is Lakeside Linen's Vintage Exemplar. And it's a 32 count. And I really, really like this because it reminds me of the coffee and tea dyeing. But this is already done. It's beautiful as it is. So... The reason I also wanted to do this, because I wasn't feeling very grateful. I was just feeling a lot of anxiety and just a lot of turmoil. And I just thought, okay, girl, get your mind where it needs to be. That's my thing. Like with natural health, one of the things that I do is I really try to work on mindset. So the Bible verse that I was thinking of, I wrote it down because it's hard for me to quote them when I know I'm doing these videos. So this is 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18. Be joyful always. I wasn't feeling joyful, but I love the idea of joy nevertheless. Sometimes I just have to work at it. Pray continually. That's what I have been doing. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. So I know it doesn't say give thanks for all circumstances. So I was telling myself, okay, how can I give thanks in this circumstance? And so that's where I was just praying and I was stitching. So I wanted it specifically, the give thanks, to remind myself, give thanks in all circumstances. And then I wasn't going to do 2020 because I was just ticked off at how 2020 is going. And I thought, I don't want any reminder of 2020 on my project. And then as I listened, I go to Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, and Jack Hibbs is like my favorite pastor. And I know a lot of you guys listen, a lot of people around the world listen to him. And the day after the election, he had a sermon. It was Wednesday night teaching. It was amazing. And after I listened to that, as I was stitching it, I thought, yeah, I don't need to be freaked out. I know the God that I serve, and he is in control of everything. So after that, I thought, yep, I am putting 2020 on there. And so that's my project. Now, here is another fun one. I love this project bag. So this is a project that I will be doing the coffee dyeing thanks to Christy at Daisy K's Primitives has an excellent demonstration of the coffee dyeing. And so she has a recipe that she has used. She has gotten it. There's recipes on Pinterest. So she says this is not her recipe, but she did an amazing demonstration, very clear on how to do it. So I just used the 32 count Zweigart that you can get at Home Depot, Hobby Lobby. It's a nice big piece. So I'm just going to chop off that piece that I will need for Gobble. And this is by Country Rustic Primitives. So I had a little issue as I was watching something or other here in my sewing room. I think the color that they had here was the wrong color, or I read it wrong, and it was a really dark brown that I stitched the stock in. And I was doing it, I thought, well, this is really weird. I didn't check because my color printer is not hooked up, so I just did a black and white one. So I had to unstitch it, and then we were watching the Sunday morning service because we were up in the mountains, so we didn't actually get to go to in church, but I wanted to look at what they were showing on the screen. And as I was unpicking or picking, whatever it is, unstitching the brown stock that I had done, I had a really wonderful, that's what I'm going to show you. This is my favorite seam ripper. So it is nice, it is thin, it is sharp. And I was undoing this and I looked away as I was ripping, and it has a little hole, not big. And when I do the coffee dyeing, I know it gets heated, so I'm hoping it shrinks, but otherwise it's primitive. So that's my baby. And this is where, because I couldn't tell the color, because I just did my black and white, but it's great because you can download PDFs. So Country Rustic Primitives, they have a lot of really beautiful things. So that's my story on that one. So be careful. Don't look up when you're using a nice sharp seam ripper. All right, now up in the mountains, that's our cabin up there. Upstairs, we have a long, I don't know, like 30 inches wide by 60 inches long window, which for the size of the cabin's like this big. It's like 525 square feet, really tiny thing, nice big window. And I had been using this as my curtain. It's just the Osnaburg. And at first it was a curtain that we used in our trailer, and then we sold our trailer. And then I had it up at the cabin, and then we bought the real beautiful blinds. So at Home Depot, the blinds, the honeycomb ones, but the ones where they separate so it can come loose from its moorings. So when we want privacy, we can have it where just the bottom half of that window is covered and it's room darkening so you can't see through it, or we can have it where the whole window is closed, covered. I want to call them breakaway, but they're not. That's not what they're called, and I can't remember. Like I said, it's probably like 11 o'clock at night. Anyway, we got new blinds up at our cabin, and so I brought this home. I am going to coffee dye this and use it for one of the quilts that I want to work on too. So that Osnaburg is just nice and rough. I have washed that so it's nice and shrunken. And shrunken, is that a word? Who knows? It's a word I used. So that's going to be, it's going to be fun. I'm going to have some fun doing some coffee dyeing. The other project that I wanted to show you, I just love my project bags. I had never known anything about project bags until I started watching FlossTube. And my Shanda Quilting in Idaho, she had one about Stitch Mania and Not in Compliance, and I saw her project bags and I thought, whoa, those are really cool. So this was one on my last FlossTube. I think it was on my last FlossTube. I was having a little issue with stitching, cross stitching with the 6 ply of the Valdani embroidery floss. And I knew as I was doing it, the main problem was probably that it is one that has more of a drag on there. But the night before I've been stitching with silk. I am new to silk, and whoa, it is marvelous. So then I went from silk to the Valdani embroidery floss, and it was a lot of times I get home from work and I want to stitch, and sometimes I'll stay up stitching till 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm tired, so I was grouchy. And as I was stitching, it kept knotting up, and it was the user error more than it was Valdani, because the Valdani colors are really beautiful. But the other problem was I had shown what I did last time, and it was my fault on the color transition. I was sharing, and it was like, wow, look at that weird color transition. I had screwed up on the floss. I had 2 blacks that were similar, and I got one. One was more of a brownie black, and one was a blue black, and so it was my mistake. So the original Valdani is right here. I left that in there. From here up, I switched over. I think it's Onyx Weeks. Yep, Onyx. So I have my bird. I have this. And it's going to just sit and rest for a while because I want to get on to some Thanksgiving and some Christmas stitching. But I just wanted to clarify the issue with the Valdani was much more me than anything, because I used it. There was actually some Valdani in that Give Thanks, and it did fine because I was patient. So there again, Valdani is vindicated. Is that the right word? Anyway, it was me. I was doing floss wads is what I called them, and that's where I made this cute little thing, this little midget one to go with this, because I was just putting the embroidery floss in wads, because I still am not using the floss drops yet. I'm getting closer to it. So I would just put the wads in here. It was a mess, and the threads would get all messy, and I wouldn't have the names of those threads either. So now I graduated up to the floss bags. These are, I'm going to share more about that in a minute somewhere. I have this pile all organized. Oh yeah, I am. I can't forget to do that. Let me put this up here so I do not forget. Because I wanted to share, I have done some reorganizing. I've been playing a lot, reorganizing in my room. The ones that I had from before, I think they were called Baggett, but those were like from 15, 20 years ago. But the exact same size is the Yarnology at Hobby Lobby. And these are 3.5 by 5 inch. I know there's some called Floss something. They're a little bit bigger. So I wanted something that was compatible to what I already had, because I just wanted to update what I already had. The other thing is they have 2 holes. And that's important because, why is that important? Because this is the way I do my stuff. I have them in 2 holes, so it creates a wheel. So the ones that with 1 hole, I guess you can punch another hole, but I like these. So now this is how I'm doing mine. I just use a small amount because I don't want my whole chunk of floss in one project when I may have 85,000 projects going. So I am also now keeping the little tags. So either I can write the name of the floss like this on a bag, but then I can't keep reusing them. So now what I thought is, oh, if I just keep the tags, I just put that in there and then I know the name. So I just bought some, oh, I bought these I had fun at Hobby Lobby. Sort of. I was at Hobby Lobby and then the power went off one day. That was not so fun because it was really dark. But these are just, they call them book rings. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so now on to the Floss Organization. I had done a video on my organizing my floss, my embroidery floss, how I do it. I think that was, I want to say it was like FlossTube number 4. And since then, I have bought some more floss, but also I found something, I was having trouble because I had my DMC color coordinated. So I had all my reds together, all my blacks together, all my yellows together. But as I was trying to look for a specific color for a project, it was a pain in the neck. So I bought a chart that was going to help me. But I realized I spent hours. So one whole entire night, I totally undid all my DMC floss. This is all my DMC floss. I undid all of it and number organized it. And then this, I have had these, I've had these flosses since, gosh, I taught myself to cross stitch when I was probably 17 or 18. So I've had some of these forever because I'm 57 now. So gosh, that's a long time. But I also had these bags that were from like 15 or 20 years ago. So some of them were ripping and some of them were just a mess. And so I bought several packages of those Yarnology floss bags. And so I just spent the whole evening doing the number, you know, if I needed a new bag, I got a new bag. I have them all numerical now. So much easier than the way that I had it before. But that's DMC. So DMC is numerical. Where am I going to put this now? Boom, on the floor. However, I have had some purchases now with these are my overdyes. So, and you know, it's so funny, that night that I was doing the Valdani, I was so mad at that Valdani. I was going to take it out of my, overdyed floss wheel and keep it separate and just use it for needle punch, which it would be great for needle punch. And then I chilled and then I used it and then I thought, yeah, girl, it was not the Valdani's fault. It was me. So I have Weeks, I have Classic Colorworks, I have Gentle Arts, and now I have the Valdani in there. So now I have 2 of them because it was going to be way too tight with the purchases that I had. So I am, oh, this is the one, Old Purple Paint. It is like the best. I really like it. So I try to keep the little tag in there so that way this is what's working for me. Will I go to thread drops? I might. But still, I do so many different projects that I don't want to have my whole amount of that floss in with the project unless I know it's going to take that whole skein. So that's what I've got going now. But now I've got 2. So I've got these colors. Aren't those pretty? So I've got those colors in here and these colors in here. And then, whoops, hold on. As I threw that bag down, I now have, this is my whole collection of, no, I have one more. I have 5 silks. And they are truly lovely. And so right now, they don't even come on a wheel. But I have a couple silks and I love the silk. And I realized, because I was seeing the price difference, and then it's like, okay, 6 strand of the cotton as opposed to 12 strand of the silk. So that is also why it is more expensive. So I am loving the silks. So here we are. Also, the other things that I have been working on, I did a video just on my Joy Nevertheless SAL. So my Joy Nevertheless stitch along. I am doing my project here. I'm doing Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. And I am doing a stitch along that I started on November 3rd. So this is my chart. I have not gotten a huge amount of progress, but I love it. So this is on Ren, and this is the called for with Oh Joyous Day. And so again, these are my little, this is how I'm doing my threads in that. I have a whole video just for this stitch along. I am hosting this stitch along, and I started it on November 3rd. That's the anniversary of my mom's passing away 6 years ago. And I had invited people on my last FlossTube to join in with me with anything that they're stitching, whether they've already started it, whether they're going to start it in the future, whether they wanted to start with me. And it's very casual because obviously I haven't gotten a lot of progress on mine. So use the hashtag Joy Nevertheless, SAL for Stitch Along on Instagram, or comment if you go to my video with that title. Comment on there, because not everybody does Instagram. So comment on there on what you're stitching and how you're doing and why you're doing that. I love to read those. So that's another way that you can do it with me. So on that video, it wasn't the typical floss tube. It was one where I was just really sharing about what I do while I'm stitching, the things that I like. So it was more just about that stitch along, and because we can't be together, and there's people all over the world that watch these, which is totally amazing. But it was just something that I thought would be fun if you knew the kind of things that I like to do while I'm stitching. And I will do those again. So you can watch for those if you'd like, but I would love for you to join in with me. Then the other stitch along that I'm doing is with Kim, the Contented Stitcher. And this is, oh, isn't that sweet? That's upside down. That's my project bag. And it is going to be the, she let me choose the name, and it's going to be titled Our Friends of the Heart, SAL. So this is a chart that we're doing. So it's the Bloom Street Friends of the Heart. I will be starting, and I've got the Wren, so I've got the called for color, and then I have all the flosses as well. So I am going to be starting this on Thanksgiving Day. My husband and I are going to be alone on Thanksgiving Day with our Riley. I'm sure we're going to go for a walk, but I will get some good stitching time in. Then my kids are coming over the next day, and I'm cooking on Friday for them. So I will probably, I'm planning on doing a video, just a stitch along video about this project. And so you can watch for that on YouTube. But if you'd like to join in with Kim and I, go check out her videos, The Contented Stitcher. And I think she might, I can't remember if she's starting it on Thanksgiving with me or not. So, and I know her video came up, and I have to watch that. So that one, 2 stitch alongs. And again, I share about that on my last floss tube that I did. So floss tube number 6. So I have been seeing a lot of videos where, where people are using needle minders. And I thought, I always store my needle in my linen, so I never saw the need of a needle minder. And then I was thinking, oh, that would be a fun thing to get. So I got 2 needle minders. Now, the needle minder, one of the needle minders that I got, so it was Zappy Dots, and I got this, it's called the Sleeping Bee. I got that on 1, 2, 3 Stitch, and then I realized there was a pattern that it was from, and so I love this. The only thing I'm going to change, I don't want to do those pine needles so dark, but this is the Blue Flower Sleeping Bee, and it ends up, if you do it on 40 count, it ends up being 8 inches. So, and they have it finished on a box, which is cool. So that's another project that I got, but I'm really finding that this is neat. And if you go to my floss tube number 3, where I show my perfect cross stitch setup, I have a magnetic chart holder. And so, and I had been saying that it only came with 3 magnets, so that was kind of silly because I wanted 4. So I actually keep this on my chart, and that way I just drop, it's amazing. You drop your needle and it stays there. I learned to sew from my mom, and she always kept pins and needles in between her lips as she was doing stuff, and she would talk while those needles were there because she made all our clothes, and I just learned how to do that too. I have never swallowed a needle. I am not advocating that you should do that, but I still do that. I still put needles in my mouth. And then I found the other day I was stitching, and I had probably was talking to Kurt, and the needle came out of my mouth and it was sitting there. It was on my shirt. So I thought, I need to start using these needle minders, needle nannies, whatever they call them. So that's one. And then look at this. The second one I got is from a book that I have. So this is the first one. I was only going to get one of them. Isn't that silly? I was only going to get one. So this is The Raven. And that was on 1, 2, 3 Stitch. But the reason I got it is because I have this book. I got this back. It's this Blackbird Designs quilt. It's a quilt, applique quilt. And see, there it is. I got this back in 2018. I don't know if they go out so quickly, but it's so cool. So I thought, I got to get that one because I got that book. So that is my needle minder. Then I did get, I did continue to buy stuff. I had to like call it halts for a while on, there was a couple days I couldn't watch FlossTube because I was just spending too much money. It was like all the emotional spending. Plus you see a bunch of amazing things and it's so easy. You just pause it, order it, and there you go. And it shows up at your door. So I was watching Laurie, Kindred Stitcher, and she was showing she's starting on the Garden series by Blackbird Designs. So of course I paused it, checked, and there were 12 of them. It was a whole series. I don't need all 12 of them, so I just bought 2. So these are the 2 that I bought. So those were my Blackbird purchases. And then a lot of people are doing this Midnight Visitor, and it's funny. Olivia at Pumpkin Hollow Quilts was just talking about she did not like moths because it was not a butterfly. It is a moth. And she didn't like the moths where she lived. But it's funny because up at her cabin, you know, that's my window. I am upstairs. And in the summertime, I've got the window open. I'm stitching. Kurt's watching TV. And I like to have the window open because it's warm. But moths end up coming in. So the moths come in. There's usually the small white ones. And Riley loves to eat moths. So it will be flying around because I had my aught light. So the moths will come right in that window. They'll be flying around my face. And I'll say, Riley, come get the moth. And he'll climb all over me and he'll get that moth and eat it. And boom, the moth is gone. And then another one will come in. So, so that's the story on moths. They don't bother me. But one night is really beautiful. It was on my Instagram. And I forgot to tell you, Bonnie Log Cabin Stitcher is my Instagram where you can follow me. It was this beautiful, it was like a nighttime. It was an antlion. It was the larva form of the antlion, but it looked like a damselfly or a dragonfly, but it was at night and it was gorgeous. And I got to take a really up close picture. But for me, it's like, so I'm going to do this not like a house. It's going to be a log cabin. And, you know, this is my tree. There is a tree that Kurt named Bonnie's tree right outside my window. And so this is the one from Anniversaries of the Heart. This was the only one that I wanted. So I am going to do that. And then I had shared that from 1, 2, 3 Stitch because I'm new at returning into cross stitching and I had never done linen before when I cross stitched. A lot of the colors that were out, I'm not familiar with those colors. And so what you can see on the computer screen is not necessarily what you get. So I bought quite a few of the smaller ones. They're usually like $6 or $6.50. So this one is the 36 count Highland. The Highland is the color. And I thought, that's perfect because I'm going to stitch that on here because it looks like the evening sky. So nighttime, night visitor, moths that Riley eats. That was my fun thing. Then on Instagram, and boy, it is so hard to see all these things on Instagram and not buy them. So I had seen somebody that did project bags from Blackbird Designs, and so then I went and I got this Sewing Club. It is a chunky book, so this was well worth it because oh my goodness, There are so many things in here that I cannot wait to stitch. This was the one I saw someone post that they had done this on the front of a project bag. So that one I would love to do. I've got so many tabs. This one, I love hollyhocks. My mom used to grow hollyhocks. I grow hollyhocks. And I just think that is so beautiful. And then this one, more hollyhocks. And I love birds too, birds and hollyhocks. Then this is the flower from Oh Joyous Day, but it's done in a pin cushion. And I thought, oh, that's really cool. And then, what was the one on here? That's not, oh, this one. I just dropped something. Okay, so this is another one that I want to do. So I want to do this drum. And then this was another small piece that I got. This is opal. And when it came, I thought, whoa, that's pink or mauve. I did not expect that color, and what was I going to do with it? Well, that's a perfect project for me to do, is that one with the pinks that I had just showed you. But there we go. So that's the one that I would really like to do. There are a lot of projects in there. So this one is well worth the cost on that. Now, I'm on Kitten Stitcher's email, and I got an email that, oh, this chart was in stock. So boom. I already had a bunch of stuff in my cart, my wish list. And so, oh, beautiful, beautiful. So I got that one. And then Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, was showing her Christmas garden. I have seen a lot of stitchers doing Christmas garden, and it's beautiful. Then Carol showed a close-up, and she was talking about it for like 5 minutes, and I was looking at it and looking at it, and I thought, I can't stand it anymore. I've got to buy it. So I am going to do it just like she did with the called for flosses, and one of them is Calico Kitty, and I already bought it. When I bought this book, you use 5 skeins of it. And Carol, oh, go watch hers. I think it was 2 weeks ago. But beautiful, beautiful. Everybody has shown it, and beautiful, but there was something about that real close-up for a long time that just, ooh, it got me. And then a lot of people have shown this chart too. And this is a silk too. Belsois Classic Colorworks. So I'm really learning about the silks now. But beautiful, beautiful book as well. So it's not quite the end of my haul yet. The other thing I got from Kitten Stitcher was this Letters for Santa. This just looks so primitive. I don't know if I'm going to do it in a long pillow or not. But I even have, I'm going to do it on straw, the straw linen. And that's what I'm going to do. I wanted to show you, Shanda was asking a question, how do you store your charts? And then it was, oh, I think it was Brenda and the Serial Stitcher showed her whole sewing room. It was like 2 months ago that I saw it. But the way that she had her charts organized was just beautiful. I don't have that many, well, I guess that's relative. As far as I don't have that many charts, but I wanted to show you how I have my charts right now. I really like, because I have so many other people commenting that they do this as well. The collecting and the viewing is as much fun as actually using what you buy, whether it's linen, floss, fabric, threads, whatever. So on my quilt table, as I'm sitting on this couch back here, my quilt table is in front of me, and I have been loving looking at these. These are the charts that are not in my project bags. And the one thing that I have learned that I really like is using, or can I show you one? I'll just take it out of here. Okay, so in here, I'll have notes, of the linen that I want to do, or what I want to remember that I want to do. But I have these sheet protectors, and these are the ones that are more of a matte finish. So the neat thing about that is that I can take a pattern and I can start putting my collection of stuff. So because I don't have a gazillion project bags, because I have almost a gazillion charts now, I just slide in that fabric in here, and then it's in like I can flip through, I can work through and see what I have collected in there. Plus I can view them. I'm sitting and looking at them when I'm on my couch. And then little things like I had shared about this one and why it was so darling. This was on my last FlossTube, but I knew I had some fabric, because those are, look at little wool eggs. I knew I had some fabric that looked like twigs. So as I was looking through my project bags the other day, I found that fabric and I thought, I don't want to lose it. So when I make this needle book, this looks like twigs, and that's going to be the inside of the bird's nest. So I'm putting things together, whether it's like this, whether it's the linen that I want to use. Now I just have that. It's there filed and ready. Like this one, the ink circles that I had already shared. This is the linen that I've got with it. I am not putting the flosses with it right now because I want them in circulation. So then when this was another one from Shanda and Carol. I just fell in love with it. But I've already got the linens in there with it. And it just, for me, this is working right now. And that basket holds all of the books and charts that I have so far. But again, I only got into this a couple months ago. So that was something that I wanted to share. Where am I going to put this? And then some of the other things. I did get quite a bit of product, but it's been weeks. It's been weeks since I've disclosed what I bought before. I went to my L&S, Needles and Niceties in Upland, and I bought some fun stuff. So I had seen, they had Tin Roof by Weeks, Tin Roof, and it is such a neat color. It is a little more green than it's showing in there, but it's Tin Roof, but it was a 40 count. Next year, I'm going to work up to 40 count. So I'm taking my training wheels off of the 36. I'm going to do the 40 count. So I just got a fat quarter of it. They cut to size. Whatever you want, they cut to size. Then they had just a small piece of one called Copper Penny. And you can see it's got the browns and the greens, very similar to Tin Roof, but more bigger chunks. But this is a 32 count. I'm really liking the 36. So I just got a small piece. And then Havana, again, Carol Saltbach Stitcher, she had done something and she was showing Havana. And oh, it was dark and lovely, and I really liked it. Then I got this. So Kathy Schmidt, this is, I love needle books, but this is like a needle envelope. So very simple stitching, and then the inside. So I got that. And then I got a kit. So I have this issue with gifts. I don't like buying gifts. And in our family, at Christmas time, years ago when we had our big financial issue, we just called off all gifts buying. We stopped doing gifts for the whole family, gift exchanges. We just did it for our children at that time. Now we really just do it for our immediate family. But I buy my own gifts. It's weird. It's weird. I'm not into the gift thing anymore. So we just do a little bit of stuff. But this I bought. This is going to go in my stocking. It is sheep needle case, shepherd's bush. It's the whole kit. So isn't that sweet? I was hoping that this was silk because my Thankful Bee kit from shepherd's bush was silk. This is overdyeds. Beautiful. I think they're overdyeds. I don't know. Whatever it is. It's not the silks, but it's nice. It's just a whole kit. Again, a needle book, and I love it. Now, the other thing that I bought was also from Kathy Schmidt, and I got this off of Amazon because I love needle books. I have this thing for needle books right now, and this is one that I am going to make. So I love that squirrel. I even have the fabric just like they do. The inside is done, like, let's not show that. The inside is done, so it looks like a basket weave. I have some of that from my mom. There are so many projects in here that are just amazing. And oh, this is the other one that I want to make. So if you go even and look on Amazon, you can look at, you get to see all the projects that are in there. So I love this. And then on YouTube, Kathy Schmidt, how do you spell it? SCHMITZ, Schmitz. She has a floss tube where she shows stitching. She shows her embroidery stitches, how to do it. She has clubs. She has a website, and it's great. So I really enjoyed watching her stitching. She was showing her specialty stitches that she does, and I really enjoyed watching her. Then the other thing, it was neat. Lisa Ingram, on one of my beautiful followers here, also had Instagram, Frenzy Fingers, I think it is, and she showed a project that she had done, and it was a free chart. Again, I don't have a color printer. She had this finished up, and it was a free chart on the drawn thread. And so we had our first snow up at the cabin, and now I want to do this to honor our first snow because we have the tall pine trees, the ones that were not burnt down, and the birds in there. And then I got a couple other free charts. So Shepherd's Bush, cute, but not as cute, you know, without colored pictures. But if you go on the website, and then Hello from Liz Matthews. If you get on her email subscriber list, you get a free chart. So there's lots of fun free stuff. So I've been checking that out. Now, closing out, I want to try to close this out soon. I love to show my bracelets. So this is another one. I counted, and I've made over 40 bracelets. I have not made any this year, but this is another wrap. A button from my mom's button box, the antiques. These are the antique buttons that I have. Antique button, and these are they're translucent. I think that's what they're called, the beads. So different stitches, beadshop.com, lots of tutorials. I like movement. So this is just one of the macrame stitches, and I can actually move these, and you can see it is a little bit dirty underneath there, but I can move these, and I have these. This is just one of my fun bracelets. I really like this. I did stop somewhere in Utah on the way home from Colorado one time. Oh, I got nail polish on my finger. And I got some really beautiful beads. So that's a fun one. And just real quick about the beading. So this is Picasso Olivine Translucent Miyake, size 6. That's one of the beads. And then size 8, same thing. And then Toho Hybrid Frosted Natural Picasso something. So these are just simple beads. I learned how to do the stitches, and I just make it up as I go, and it's using this S-Lon or C-Lon, whether you buy it from beadshop.com or Hobby Lobby, just nylon thread. So the bummer was with that video that is like held hostage right now on iMovie, I had explained about some beading stuff because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that video off or not. I wanted to show you this. So these are, yep, I am addicted to beads as well, and I love the organization. I found how to organize my beads before I even bought beads, but they are ridiculously expensive right now. So these trays, it's Elizabeth Ward Bead Solutions. These trays, I have several of them, and you can get them in different sizes. So different sizes of boxes depending on your need. I went back and I looked and I searched my Amazon order. I bought some of those trays on Amazon for $22 back in 2018. Then I found them at Walmart.com, and they were even cheaper than that. So I searched them today. They are ridiculous because right now everybody's home, people are crafting, and so the price is going high. Whether it's a shortage or not, I don't know, but they are $40 to $50 now for a empty tray. Ridiculous. The prices will go down eventually, but I love that. I love that storage solution. I did it. I shared. Okay, so the other thing that I am going to be doing, because I'm a Young Living educator, I have a Young Living business selling, I'm a rep, you get it from the company. Young Living Essential Oils. I've shared a lot about my oils, and these are the things that I use for my natural health. I got off of medications for my anxiety and depression. I just use my oils. And I also am doing the keto diet where I'm, for the most part, not doing sugar and carbs. That huge, huge for the mental balance. So this last couple weeks have been a little up and down, challenging. This is grounding. These are how I use the oils. So I like to show you what I do. So the oils from Young Living are the real deal. If you go like to Walmart and Target and get stuff, it is I call them crap oils. They're not real. They're not good for you. So I got into oils, and Young Living is the best of the best. And I love these oils, but this one is grounding. And so I get emotionally stuck. So with all the stuff that's been going on, I was just feeling like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't accomplish anything. And so I know I have tons of reference materials on the different blends that Young Living has and singles, what they're for, or like if I'm feeling something, you know, I know what oil that I can use, because when you smell those oils, you have an immediate emotional response. It's right away. So this one is for when you're feeling emotionally chaotic and you need grounding. So Young Living names their oil blends with the purpose of what they are. It is grounding and anchoring. So I was looking up in my reference materials about grounding, and I already know, but I wanted to be able to share that, where when you're feeling emotionally chaotic, you tend to avoid that. This is my avoidance couch. I like to avoid life and hang out in here and do my own thing. And it can be where I do that much more than I should. I need to engage in life because I'm working. And so I have two of them in here, of the grounding, because I love it. It smells wonderful. It is sweet and pine. It has white fir is the first oil in there. But it helps you feel anchored and grounded so that you can move past. So my word for the year is forward. This oil helps me do that, because when I'm getting stuck in like the emotional turmoil and I'm thinking I can't do anything, I just want to sit and stitch, yet I may need to get something done, I can use that oil and I can smell it, and it's just working within my body to help with my mind and my body to help me move forward, to get unstuck. What is the word that it actually calls? Oh, it says when you're getting stuck in avoidance or making poor decisions because you can't think clearly. It just helps you think clearly to be able to deal with those emotions and move forward. So for me, the emotional basket case, that's my oil that I'm using. Then the other thing that I've been wanting to do, because I am concerned, my mother and my grandmother died with Alzheimer's. And so because I'm late 50s, I really want to keep my mind as sharp as I can. And again, that's why I like to do the natural health and doing both the food plan that I'm doing, the oils, and just a lot of things to support my mind. Now, I want to work on memorizing again. So I love memorizing the Bible verses. And then there was just a lot of chaos that I was working through. And I thought, how can I best do this? So one of them was just thinking, give thanks in all things. The other thing, I know when I'm feeling just chaos, I like all different types of music. I like classic rock, just all types of music. And when I'm feeling really whacked out, I just want the hymns. And so I found a beautiful YouTube channel and a neat family, and I have been following them, and I bought all their music on iTunes. And one of the songs that they sing is Because He Lives. So it is off of, so Sounds Like Rain is their music, is the music channel. But Rains is spelled R-E-I-G-N. Oh, Sounds Like Rain. So on there, and you can just listen to the song, Because He Lives. Beautifully sung. I love it. Then I also found they have a vlog called Tiny Notes from home. I got something stuck in my throat. And I love, it's a sweet family. And I love it. I've been learning, being really encouraged, and loving all the music. So this is what I'm working on memorizing. And so the other day when I was driving to work, I played the song over and over so I could work on memorizing the words of the song. But I just went to, and I guess Bill Gaither is the author of this song, but I just went on Lyric Freaks. I just searched Because He Lives lyrics. I wanted to read it to you because I love closing out with a Bible verse or something, something of God, just to bring encouragement. These are the words. God sent His Son, they called Him Jesus. He came to love, heal, and forgive. He lived and died to buy my pardon. An empty grave is there to prove my Savior lives. Then the chorus, because He lives, I can face tomorrow. Because He lives, all fear is gone. Because I know He holds the future, and life is worth the living just because He lives. Then the next verse. How sweet to hold a newborn baby and feel the pride and joy He gives. But greater still the calm assurance this child can face uncertain days because He lives. Then the next verse. And then one day I'll cross the river. I'll fight life's final war with pain. And then as death gives way to victory, I'll see the lights of glory and I'll know He lives. So in the struggle that I have sometimes with really dark thoughts and sometimes thoughts that I'm just done with life, these words, I'm singing these to myself. I'm telling myself truth. When lies come upon me, I face it with truth, God's truth. And so the things that I'm doing, the oils, the Bible memory, the reading, my Jesus is what keeps me going. And so the uncertain future has been preying on my mind. My children in this uncertain future, what is life going to be like for them? And then just knowing, because He lives, I can face tomorrow. So that's why this song has been so special to me. And when I get really worried and I'm working on my mind, I have the mindset I need to work through this. Song helps me, and song helps you memorize. So this has been special to me. The other thing that has been really special, a friend of mine gave me this book, Bringing Christ into Your Crisis by Laurie. She gave this to me a couple months ago, and I did not finish reading the book, but I got it out again because crisis is here. And I have been going through it, reading it, tagging it so much. But a lot of it, one thing, the verse, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving. And I know for people that are going through a hard time, if they just play worship music or they sing worship songs, it helps. And so that's again why I bought all of the music from Sounds Like Rain, so I could have it and own it on my iTunes and listen to it in the car. I love it. This book is, you can buy it, but this is a free ebook too. So if you just go Greg Laurie's Church's Harvest in Riverside, if you go to harvest.org, you click free ebook, you put an email, and you can download this whole book. And I will share more about it. But the back it says, "Want to conquer fear, worry, and anxiety in your life." And this has been just very, very good for me. And it would be a free book that you guys can get. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this, especially you that stay to the very end. Have I shared everything? Yeah, I think I did. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing and the comments. Before, it's scary to push the record button and do these videos, especially when I know I'm tired, and I have had trouble in the past with stuttering when I had my breakdown. And that's where I think is just like, how can I talk and share in a coherent way? So sometimes it is really hard to push that record button. But what I do is I go through and I read the comments. The majority of the comments that I have are so positive and beautiful. And I value that so much. So thank you so much for telling me how much you value that I do these. They do take a lot of time. That one video I don't want to redo. I have probably put 7 hours into that video. And, you know, it's the prep time. It's the lights that I've gotten, and I broke one already. And it does take time, but I am gaining so much from doing this. So thank you guys, and God bless you, and choose joy nevertheless.